everyone, Leeza here. In honor of my 31st birthday coming up, I wanted to make this video as sort of a reflection on my first 30 years of life. I'm turning 31 and it's gonna be my golden year, actually, 31 on the 31st. And yeah, I just have really positive feelings about this year. I've loved being 30, and I don't know, I just wanted this to be sort of like a visual diary of just everything I've sort of learned in my first 30 years of life, a lot of just deep reflections, and something that I can look back on for years to come. So let's get into it. I actually asked ChatGPT to give me 25 just really good reflective questions. It broke it down into different categories, and I'm sort of just gonna walk through them with you and answer them super honestly, authentically, and I'm excited. So here we go. So the first section is all on life and identity. So the first question is, if I met 10-year-old me today, what would I think of me now? Aw, that's super cute to think about, actually, because I'm someone who's really into inner child work, and I think that, what happens to you in childhood really stays with you. And so to really talk to my 10-year-old self and just have her see me now, I really think that she would be super proud of me. I think she would think I'm really, really cool. So yeah, I think she would think I'm super cool. She would like my style. She would like, the fact that I have my own really cute place and a really cool fancy office job in the city. I think she would think I'm really cool, which is a nice feeling. She would be a little pissed that I'm not in a relationship though. She'd be like, girl, what? So that's funny. But yeah, I think overall she would think I'm really cool. Okay, next question. What's something I used to believe about myself that was totally wrong? Oh my God, these are really deep questions to start off the video. I think probably that I was just not beautiful or not desirable, just unworthy of love. I think I just had those feelings, just growing up the way I did, not feeling, cute, just having severe eczema and all these things. It's just sad that I took on those beliefs and I really ran with it, and it just literally wasn't true. So that's what I've been doing a lot of inner child healing work on, to get rid of those beliefs. Number 3, when did I finally start feeling like me? Yesterday? No, I'm kidding. Probably during my Saturn return. I think maybe the past 2 to 3 years. I think a lot of stuff has to kind of blow up for you to really grow and get on the right track and to start really doing that deeper healing work. I really realized a lot of patterns I was in. I wasn't really being authentic. I behaved in ways to just make people like me or try to build relationships, and it just wasn't really, it wasn't doing me any favors in life. It wasn't making me actually happy. And so yeah, I think in the past 2 years I've really come into myself. I really feel like myself. I'm super authentic. I'm not, trying to hide or pretend or be something I'm not. And it feels really good. I think out of fear, sometimes we try to, not that you're being fake, but you're just sort of you're trying to fit in with different people and friend groups in order to be liked. You're acting a certain way in order to be liked and accepted. But it's if you're not being accepted for who you actually are, it's that's, that's hurting you more than anything. So yeah, definitely in the past 2 years, honestly. What is one thing about me that would surprise people if they really knew me? So I guess for people who don't really know me, they might be surprised how deeply sensitive I am. I think sometimes I can come off pretty stoic or chill or just pretending that things don't bother me as much as they do, but they really deeply hurt me, and I'm very deeply impacted by a lot of things. I'm very hyper aware, so I can kind of feel if there's a shift in energy. I can feel, I don't know, I can just feel a lot of things without it being said. And yeah, it just deeply hurts me. I am a real softie on the inside. Yeah, I feel if you don't really know me, you don't know that, because I can just sort of walk around and act like everything's okay and I'm strong and all these things. But yeah, I'm a super softie for sure. Okay, next section is all about lessons and growth. So what's the biggest oops of my life so far, and what did it teach me? I'm gonna be honest, not even because I'm just a perfect little Virgo moon. Just kidding. But I feel I really haven't made any crazy mistakes or I don't know. I don't have anything that I regret in my life that I've done. I mean, obviously I've had to learn a lot of lessons, but I don't really consider any of my actions like an oops that, really taught me something crazy, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't regret anything. I feel like I've learned a lot of things along the way, but I don't think it was any fault of my own or anyone else's. I think, life just gives you lessons, but yeah, I haven't made any big oops like that, any mistakes, I feel like. Not that I regret anyway. If I could tell my younger self one thing, what would it be? Probably to stop dimming your light, and stop trying to overperform to make people like you or love you. Oh my God, this is so deep because, again, bringing up astrology, I'm a Leo rising, so I feel like I'm a natural performer. I like being in front of the camera. I used to be in performing arts growing up. I feel like a lot of people don't know that about me. I love to sing, act, dance. I wanted to be a TV host. I had a podcast. I'm on YouTube. I'm just someone who likes to perform. I wanted, people would tell me when I was a kid, you should be a comedian. You should be a comedian, and I would love to dance. And, there's a natural part of me that just likes a lot of attention. But I think that always was a point of contention where it was I had some people telling me sit down, you're a show off, you don't do too much. And then there was another part of me that would kind of overperform because people thought I was cool or likable or funny or interesting. And I would get attention from those things, or, feeling like I had to get really good grades or stuff, just wanting to be the best, wanting to be cool, wanting to be all these things, thinking that would make me feel loved and accepted. But that's not true. I wish I could tell my younger self that you are already inherently worthy of love and acceptance and all those things. You don't need to be better and do better in order to get love and attention. But also, again, that is a very authentic part of me that just likes to be seen and likes to perform and all these things. And I wish I could also tell that little girl, you don't have to overperform to get love, but you also should not dim your light. You should be who you are and have fun and act the way you want to act. So yeah, I feel like it's always been this balance in my life of, am I performing and want to be seen from an authentic place or from a place where I just really needed love and attention? So yeah, I think overall, just be yourself. You don't have to do anything to be loved and accepted. And also be who you are. Don't dim your light. Yeah. Okay. When did I realize failure wasn't the end of the world? Probably when I quit my podcast. So the Leeza Rants podcast, it's still on streaming if you want to go check it out. But I did that for 4 years of my life. It was just me. I tried to do it every week, but I definitely didn't. Hosting solo episodes, literally me and a mic talking to myself all the time. Or, sometimes I would interview people. I would self-edit, self-promote. It was such an exhausting project. And I was kind of one of the first people to podcast, period. I literally started my podcast in 2017. No one had a podcast. People would ask me, they're like, oh, you're on the radio? And I'm like, no, it's a podcast. People did not even know what a podcast was. So I was really kind of on the pulse of that. And, I became known as a podcaster, and I feel like people knew me for that. And it seemed like everyone thought it was really cool and interesting. But after, I just felt like I never got the kind of numbers or success that I really wanted. And, I think when you're pouring your heart into something for 4 years, it's not really getting the traction that you want. You're going to get burnt out. I literally got burnt out. I was doing it all by myself. I had to come up with the topics and reaching out to all these people and editing and promoting. And it was really, really hard. And, I had to, especially when I started in 2017, and then when the pandemic hit, of course, as we all know, 2020 was the year where everyone just was in quarantine and bought a mic and started a podcast. And I was literally watching people who made a podcast in 1 week surpass me in numbers and followers, and it really put a lot of self-doubt into me. And at first it put a battery in my back, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna just really work hard, and I'm gonna land all these big interviews. And I did. I landed some really cool interviews, and I really tried to keep up with everyone in 2020. But yeah, I just kept getting discouraged. And it just really wasn't like really popping off the way that I wanted it to. And then by 2021, I had to make like an honest decision and just be like, hey, you know what? Like, I think we're done here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bringing me joy anymore. It feels like a burden. And it really did feel like a failure because I am someone who doesn't quit anything. I'm not a quitter. I really like to work hard and like tough things out. But I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It's not making me happy. And I quit my podcast. And it was so hard, but I realized that, yeah, failure is not the end of the world. I was able to pivot. I did like rant and release circles for like 2 years after that, and I'm still trying to do those. And now I have, a Substack still with the Leeza Rants sort of brand. So I never really left what I love doing, but I just have evolved with the mediums over the years. And it's not a failure. It's just me learning what works best for me. And yeah, it's been a really positive experience. So okay, what's something I stubbornly thought I had to figure out alone but didn't? Ooh, triggered. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm still in that part of my life. Like, I haven't learned that at all. Like, I really do still feel like I have to figure out things on my own. I feel like that's just my process. I just like to reflect on things on my own. And then when I sort of, I don't know, come out of it, then I can share. But like, I feel like when I'm really going through something, it's really hard for me to lean on people for support. Like during like the messy times, you know what I mean? Like when it's really messy and I haven't really figured it out in my own brain, it's hard for me to, feel like someone else can help me through that. Like I feel like I have to figure it out on my own. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really trying. I think I have over the years have done a better job at leaning more on my support system, but I think for the most part, I don't know if it's just me being a Scorpio, but I just feel like at the end of the day, I just do better when I get to process something on my own and then share it once I, have kind of come out of it and like reflected and like have some sort of closure and peace around it. I feel like that's when I'm able to really, really share. But when I'm in the thick of it, like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I have to figure it out on my own, but I definitely need to lean on my support system more. Okay, the next section is called Friends, Love, and People. So, first question, who's been my biggest vibe check in life and why? Definitely my mom. I mean, I feel like she's like my biggest confidant, my biggest supporter. Anything that I do go to people with, I go to her. She knows everything about me. And she really helps to, like vibe check me, just check me in general. I can just like vent to her and have it be like a safe space, and she'll really help me like reframe how I'm feeling. She listens and she's supportive, but she also really helps me like work through it and think about things in a different way. And, just remind me to just be like happy and grateful and just make me feel like things are always going to work out, because they always do. I feel like sometimes you can get into like a sort of like doom spiral and, you might just think like, oh, everything sucks. And my mom is really that person to kind of be like that vibe check. She just brings so much positivity and just realism. Like she just keeps it so real with me, and I'm able to, it just really helps me in times when I'm feeling down or something. All right, next question. What's the funniest or wildest thing I learned about dating or relationships? Funniest or wildest? I don't know. I mean, something that's funny just for me is that like you cannot cool girl your way into a relationship. Like I feel like I just tried to be so cool and like play by the rules. Like I was the girl who would read like all of these dating rule books, and like Matthew Hussey, if you guys have heard of him, he's like a popular dating coach, and like Patty Stanger, and like I knew those rules to a T, and I would like try to follow all these things and not respond for 2 hours. Just like the dumb stuff. And I just feel like it was just all fake. And it's like you can't get into a relationship trying to be cool and being fake and not being vulnerable. Like you're not being yourself. Like how is anyone gonna fall for you if you're not being yourself? So I feel like that's just like the funniest thing. Like when I just look back on how I used to act and how I used to go about dating, I just think it's like so ridiculous. But yeah, I just think like being authentic and open-hearted is the way to find love, which is really hard actually. Like it's so hard to be open and vulnerable, but that's what you got to do apparently. So still working on that. Stay tuned for my 30s. How have my friendships shaped who I am today? They've shaped me so much. I feel like most of the major lessons of my life have always come through friendships. And I'm not gonna lie, some of those were really painful. Like I've had like kill me type of friendship breakups, like literally had to mourn people. Like it was really bad. Like I've been through some really hard lessons and just things with friends. But I have really come so far. And like by the time I was like 29 and 30, I feel like I have finally really learned so much. And I have such an amazing group of friends, like literally obsessed with them. I've learned that again, I'm still working on it, but I can like actually lean on people and like be supportive. I can have friends that show up for me. I can have friends that openly support me, like they want me to do well. Like there's no malicious intent. There's no like jealousy. Like it's just I can have these very pure, deep friendships that I've always wanted. Yeah, I just didn't think before I could have that. I think a lot of times I was in maybe like, I don't know, like superficial connections, which is fine. I feel like you can have friends in all different categories. Like you can have the party friends, you can have this friend, that friend. But the way I've been really able to craft these like super deep friendships where I can fully be authentic, fully be vulnerable, fully be seen has just been so healing for me. And I'm just so proud of myself that I've been able to do this because connection is a huge pillar in my life. Like I love connection. I love connecting with people. I love having friends. I feel like I'm like a girl's girl. Like I love friendship and I value it so much. And I've finally, throughout so many friendship lessons, have been able to really like have these incredible like women and friends around me. And yeah, I just love it so much. But I think when it comes down, going back to like the original question of just like what the lesson is, I think number one is being authentic and vulnerable. Number two would probably be open communication. Like you have to be honest, you have to be real with your friends. Because that's another thing I feel like I would sort of just like harbor resentment for like what my friends were doing, but I would never share it with them because I was like trying to keep the peace and I was trying to keep everyone happy and wanted everyone to like me. But it's like if you're miserable and you're not communicating that to your friend, or like you don't like how their actions affect you and you're not saying anything, it's like, how are they supposed to know? You know what I mean? Like, so I really had to learn to be okay with open communication, open dialogue, like conflict. Like, you guys, I would never want to have conflict. I was so scared of conflict, but like, it is literally such an important part of a relationship, any relationship, especially friendship. You have to be able to fight. Like literally. And all my friends, we have fought, not in like a crazy way, but just we've had to have hard conversations about things. But it's like once you do and you're like, I'm so sorry, and like we let it go and it's amazing. And like there's no resentment because it's like we've talked it through. And I don't know why I always used to be so scared of things like that. But I feel like, yeah, I've learned so much about just being open, having that conflict, having open dialogue, allowing the person to make changes, allowing myself to make changes, allowing myself to have accountability, take ownership. And yeah, it's been the best thing for my friendship. So I love conflict resolution. I think it's the best. Okay, on to career and ambition. What's the biggest career win that felt so satisfying? Oh my God, it was definitely when I got a promotion to be a marketing manager, marketing operations manager specifically. I remember being in my college dorm room and I would literally visualize, you guys, like I manifested this life, honestly, but I would visualize being in my own like cute apartment by myself because I hated having roommates in college. And I like would visualize being like a marketing manager. Like I was like, I wanted to be a marketing manager. I don't know, something about that title. I always like wanted that title. And that's what I went to school for, marketing. And so to finally get that promotion, I was like, oh my God, like I'm a manager. It just felt really good to just have that title finally. So that was the best win ever. Okay, when did I realize my job could be fun or at least not miserable? So my first job out of college actually was like such a toxic environment. Like it was really gossipy. It was like all like young women and a really toxic like male CEO, and it was just like a lot going on there. And I was like really miserable, and like literally all of the girls, we'd go to lunch and we would just complain, and we would say like we would all talk about how we're applying to jobs and trying to get out of there. And yeah, I just realized how much like being miserable at your job can like, I don't know, it takes a toll on you. Like when you're not happy at work, because it's like, think about it, you're at work 8 hours a day, like 5 days a week. It just becomes a lot. And when I finally did get out of there onto a new company, I was just like, I really, I had to really undo like the toxic programming and being in a space where I'm like my coworkers aren't all bad. Like I can trust people. Like, you know what I mean? And I think also just realizing like, okay, this is a job at the end of the day, and I don't like, yes, I take it serious, but I don't take it home with me. I have very good boundaries with work. Like I'm like 5 o'clock, I'm like, oop, shut the laptop, like bye. Like I'm just very like, I have strict boundaries. I do not make it my whole life. I just like do my work. I try to like be nice and kind and have fun with coworkers and be pleasant, but like I really try not to take on any stress or toxic energy into my soul, because it's like this is not real life. Like it's like we're typing emails and like making spreadsheets, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like I've really tried to change my mindset over the years about work, and just kind of like enjoying what I do and being able to really craft my role into what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like if my boss is telling me to do stuff I don't really like or not resonating with, like I'll speak up. I'm like, hey, my skill set is more in this area. Like, can I work on more things like this? And just being able to speak up and just like enjoy what I do. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people feel like work has to be their passion, and I feel like it doesn't have to be. Like I just think that it can just be something for your financial situation, for your livelihood, but you can still enjoy it. But it doesn't have to be like your passion. It doesn't have to be everything. So yeah, I feel like I've just over the years had a really good balance with work and feeling not miserable, having a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun at work because I'm a yapper and I love all the people I work with. All right, if I could tell my first work me anything, what would it be? So I think again, starting out in my career, I think when you're like one of the youngest people on your team and you're just starting out, like fresh out of college, you're really getting used to the corporate world, and like there's a bunch of new lingo that you don't know. There's a lot of office politics and like all these things you just don't know. And I would just feel so insecure. Like I always felt like I was like so dumb, and I'm like, am I qualified? I'm like, do I know how to do this? And it's just crazy how much I thought that like everyone in the room was like smarter than me. And it's like, no, babe, like they're really not. Like, trust me, like you don't have to be scared of like the CEO. Like they're just people. You know what I mean? Like I just wish that, I could just be more, I wish I could have told myself to be more confident. And like no one is smarter than you. Like I promise, just because they have a big fancy title doesn't mean they necessarily know what they're doing. So yeah, I definitely wish I could tell my first work me self that. What's a professional risk I'm proud I actually took? Ooh, that's a little triggering right now, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been at my current job for a really, really long time. I feel like, and it's not something I necessarily would recommend to everyone. I feel like I've heard a lot online that like you're supposed to really like job hop every, 2 to 3 years in order to really grow. But yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of dealing with personally, because it's like I actually love my job and I love the company I work for. And a lot of people at my job stay a really long time. Like it's kind of like abnormal how many of us have stayed at our job for like years and years and years. But yeah, I think I'm really, really comfortable there, like very comfortable. And so I I honestly haven't taken a lot of professional risk. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's something I'm examining, comfortability over something new. But I also feel like the grass is not greener on the other side. Like I know that I work for like a really amazing company. So yeah, that little triggering right now, because I really have been thinking about that a lot. If I do need to make more risks in life. So stay tuned for more of my 30s. We'll see where I'm at. Okay, wellness and self-care. How did I figure out how to take care of my mind and body without losing my mind? Ooh, honestly, still not 100% at that, to be honest, because yeah, I think it's hard, right? It's hard to juggle everything you have to do. It's hard to stay up on a really consistent workout routine. I found out for myself that I'm not really a self-motivated person. It's really hard to have me, force myself to just like go to the gym on my own or go for a walk on my own, unless it's just like really nice outside. So I've really figured out that like I need a class. Like I need I need workout classes. So I invest in that. I love them. I go to the same ones every week. I got a nutritionist. She tells me what to eat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've realized that about myself, and I'm, privileged enough to be able to like invest in those things. But yeah, I think I just knew that I needed someone to guide me and give me direction, because otherwise I just probably wouldn't do it on my own, especially when it comes to working out, um, diet, health. But yeah, just over the years, I have just, because of those tools, I've been way more consistent. Yeah, like I said, work out every week. I have like a bunch of meals that I always cook. And yeah, I feel really good in my body now. I'm so glad that I'm taking care of myself. And I realized kind of entering my 30s that like it's so important now to take care of yourself. Um, yeah, like you can't just eat whatever like I did when I was in my 20s, when I was like 100 pounds, soaking wet. So yeah, I've just had to find balance with it. But I also don't beat myself up. You know what I mean? Like if I want a Chipotle bowl, I'm going to have a Chipotle bowl. I have a Chipotle bowl at least once a week. And I don't see that changing. But I don't even think Chipotle is like unhealthy. But you know what I mean? I just feel like I let myself live and I have a lot of balance. So I just try to stay on a routine, but I don't lose my mind over it. Does that make sense? Okay, next question. What's one self-care habit that actually changed my life? Going back to just investing in those like wellness kind of tools, again, like ClassPass, having a nutritionist, having a therapist, just having those people to help me. I need help, all right? So I feel like that's all changed my life. But I think overall, just having, just sort of like making like rituals around things, like beauty rituals, like having the day to like get my eyebrows done, get a bikini wax, and then get my pedicure, and like have that be like a relaxing like Sunday afternoon ritual or thing that I do, or cooking on Fridays and like prepping my meals, and just like making things into like a nice ritual for myself, I think makes it really nice. Painting my nails, or just doing like this little beauty self-care nights. I actually I wrote about this on my Substack, that each day has a different sort of like energy and theme, and like Friday is a Venusian day, like Venus, which is like the planet of like love and beauty. So Friday is actually the best day to do a lot of like beauty treatments. So I try to take advantage of that. So yeah, I do a lot of like self-care habits. I love doing like a castor oil pack for like digestion, like dry brushing for my lymphatic system. My workout classes, like I love like heated workouts because I love to sweat. It's really good for my skin. Yeah, I just do a lot of stuff that has changed my life. I feel so much better. Having a meditation practice, reading, prayer, visualization, it's all self-care to me. So I love it. Okay, when do I feel the most me? Like completely relaxed and alive? Immediately I just saw myself like on my bed with my iPad and like snacks. like my big Stanley cup, a bunch of good snacks, probably some like double stuffed Oreos, and my iPad. I love that. I literally love being in my comfy bed with my iPad and snacks, bed rotting, watching really interesting videos and podcast episodes. And I love just like learning a lot. Like I love educational content. I love interviews. Yeah, I just love media. Like it makes me so happy. And that's when I feel most relaxed, when I'm just vibing. Okay, spirituality and mindset. How has my view on life, luck, or the universe changed over the past 30 years? Ooh, I feel like I've come to the conclusion that I feel like we do have a lot more power over our lives than we think we do. I mean, obviously, I think some things are luck. I don't know. It's still all up in the air, to be honest. But I have realized the power of the mind, and that's what I've really like learned and worked on. And I really just think it all comes from like your subconscious brain, what you believed when you were a child. I think you can really, really fine tune what your beliefs are, and then that will create your reality. So I really do believe that. And yeah, I feel like I've been able to stop being, it's really taken me out of like my victim and lack mindset, just feeling like I do have the power to create a life that I love. I do feel like obviously there's like destiny and there's fate and there's things that are just like supposed to happen to us to make us learn things. Like especially me with like being single, right? Like I I cannot manifest a partner to save my life right now, right? But I know that I am manifesting it and that it is coming, but I think that I've just had to learn a lot of things along the way. So yeah, I feel like that's what I believe right now. Like I think we have the power to make our lives amazing. So next, manifestation, prayer, meditation. What actually works for me? Ooh, I would honestly say all the above. Like I use them all together. I feel like prayer is when I really just like talk to God. I'm vulnerable, like I ask for help. Meditation, I calm my mind. I visualize what I want for myself. I get clear. And manifestation is sort of like, using what I've using the clarity from my meditations to sort of start to put them into practice and bring them into my reality. And like I said, going back to prayer, just asking God and the universe for that support. So I feel like they all work in tandem, and it's been really amazing for me spiritually. Okay, and what's my cheer up, life is fine mantra? Oh, I don't know if I have a mantra, but I just feel like gratitude. Like gratitude is everything. Whenever I'm not practicing gratitude, that's when things start to go a little, a little downhill. I have to really keep up with my gratitude practices, like, and that's what I do when I pray is that, I'll say, thank you God for this. Thank you God for that. Like I'll just go through, things that I am grateful for. I love to always, make sure that I at least say thank you daily for the life that I'm currently living. And something about practicing gratitude really gets your mindset right again. I feel like there's not a lot of place, there's not a lot of space for, misery or, just being down or sad when you're grateful. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's like the biggest like cheer up, life is fine thing you can do, because yeah, my life is fine. It's actually great and I'm super grateful. And so it really helps to make that switch when you need it. Okay, very last section. What am I most excited to try or explore in my 30s? Ooh, yeah, I think just more. Like I think, like I said, I've only really feel like I've come into myself truly authentically in the past 2 to 3 years. So I'm ready to just like fully take more chances. Be like, just step into the limelight more, like be more seen, keep trying things. I really, really, really want to get more serious about like intentionally, dating and really exploring like that area of my life, like really calling in a partner. Creating businesses and just more travel, more adventure, just more fun. I think that is what I'm really excited in my 30s for, because I feel like now I'm the most confident, vibrant, magnetic I've ever been. And so I'm really excited to bring that energy into my 30s and how that can really like take things to the next level. Okay, what's one thing I hope I never stop doing? Going to the club. Hey, just kidding. No, but I'm not kidding. Like having fun. Like I'm someone who I like to think I'm very like social. I like to go out. I like to be seen. I like to do things. I love to go to like social events. I love to meet new people. I never want that to stop. I feel like people turn 30 and they're like, I gotta settle down and be boring and be in the suburbs and all these things. They're like, no, like that's not me. I never want to be boring. I just want to always have fun and live life. I don't want that to stop. And very last question, if 40-year-old me watched this, what would I want her to say about me at 30? Ooh, probably how proud of me that she is. And then also like she has no idea what the next 10 years are about to bring. Yay. Yeah, that would be cool for her to just be like, oh, she has no idea how good it's gonna get. So, yay. All right, you guys, that's all the questions. This video is a lot longer than I expected it to be, but if you watched the whole thing, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just so excited to turn 31. I cannot believe I'm turning 31, actually. It feels so weird. My age is getting a bit serious, but yeah, I just feel so like youthful and happy, and I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like honestly 30s are like the best decade, and I just cannot wait to see what else is in store. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye!